Welcome to Egypt, a land filled with fear and echoes of decrees. Long after the death of Joseph, the current ruler of Egypt, Pharaoh is threatened by the growing strength of the Hebrews. He gives a command: every newborn Hebrew boy must be thrown into the Nile. But in the shadows, one mother dares to defy this command. She cradles her child, 3 months old, innocent, and crying softly. Her heart aches, but her resolve is strong. She weaves a basket of reeds, waterproofed with tar and pitch. With trembling hands, she lays her son inside and places the basket among the reeds of the Nile. And down the river, destiny flows with Miriam, the child's sibling, watching as the basket drifts in the Nile, until it's spotted by Pharaoh's daughter, bathing by the riverbank. "This is one of the Hebrew babies," she says, but her heart is moved. She lifts the crying child and claims him as her own. And so, a Hebrew boy, born under a death sentence, is raised in the very palace that sought to destroy him. His name is Moses, and he will one day deliver his people from bondage. Join us next time as we continue Moses' epic tale. Moses, once a child of 2 worlds, born a Hebrew, raised as a prince of Egypt, now walks the halls of Pharaoh's palace with questions echoing in his heart. One day he witnesses a taskmaster beating a Hebrew slave. Angrily, he says, "Stop! What gives you the right to strike him?" The taskmaster ignores Moses. In a flash of rage, Moses attacks and kills the Egyptian. One moment of fury, one act of justice. Or was it vengeance? The prince's hands are stained, and his secret is short-lived. With Pharaoh's wrath behind him, Moses flees into the wilderness, leaving behind his title, his home, and the only life he has known. Moses stumbles through the desert, weary and alone. He reaches a well in Midian. Zipporah approaches, leading sheep. "You look like you fought the sun and lost." Moses softly replies, "Maybe I did. Maybe I had to lose everything to find something real." In exile, the prince becomes a shepherd. In solitude, he begins to understand who he truly is. Not just by birth, but by purpose. Moses watches over the flock, the wind carrying the faint sound of distant cries. Justice drove him into the wilderness. But identity, destiny, will one day lead him back. After spending years in the wilderness, Moses is now shaped into a shepherd. But today, something extraordinary calls his name. Moses looks up and sees a bush ablaze. But it's not consumed. Moses, awestruck, "What is this? A fire that doesn't burn?" He steps closer. God's voice echoes, "Moses, Moses." Moses, falling to his knees, replies, "Here I am." God speaks again, "Do not come any closer. Remove your sandals, for the place where you stand is holy ground." God continues speaking, "I have seen the suffering of my people in Egypt. I have heard their cries. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people out of Egypt." Moses, hesitant, speaks, "Me? Who am I to do this? I'm no leader. I can't even speak well." God answers, "I will be with you, and this will be the sign. When you bring the people out, you will worship me on this mountain." Moses replies, "What if they don't believe me?" God answers, "Tell them I am who I am has sent you." In the fire, Moses met not only his God, but his purpose. Fear did not vanish, but faith took root. He looks out across the desert horizon. "I will go because you are with me." Moses returns to Egypt and finds his way to his biological family. He meets Aaron and Miriam. Picture this: Moses and Aaron standing resolute in the ornate halls of Pharaoh, the most powerful man in the world. Their message from God: "Let my people go." But Pharaoh's heart is hard. He refuses, triggering a cosmic clash that will forever alter the course of history. As Pharaoh defies, the 10 plagues unfold, a series of divine wonders demonstrating God's supremacy over Egypt's gods. The waters of the Nile turn to blood. A carpet of frogs cover the land, followed by gnats driving chaos. Yet Pharaoh's stubbornness persists. Even as locusts darken the skies and thunderous hail rains down. Each plague is a reminder of the consequences of defying divine authority, a test of perseverance and faith for Moses and the Israelites. We witness Moses' obedience under divine command. the resilience he portrayed in the face of seemingly insurmountable power, and the age-old clash between human authority and divine will. How did Moses maintain his faith? What lessons can we draw from these ancient trials for today? This is more than history. It's a story of faith, unwavering commitment to a cause, and the ultimate triumph of divine justice. Egypt is shrouded in the darkness of Pharaoh's stubbornness and faces the final devastating plague, the death of the firstborns. But amongst the despair, there is hope for the Israelites. God commands them to mark their doors with lamb's blood to protect their households, instituting what becomes the enduring Jewish festival of Passover. As the plague passes over their homes, faith lights the way for these enslaved people. With the firstborns of Egypt lost, Pharaoh's resolve shatters. He finally releases the Israelites. As dawn breaks, they march towards freedom, every step a testament to the power of faith and divine intervention. However, their path is not straight. Before them lies the impassable Red Sea, and behind them, Pharaoh's army, relentless in pursuit. And then a miracle. God parts the mighty waters, creating a path through the sea. The Israelites cross on dry ground, their faith carrying them to the other side, to safety, to a new chapter. In the turmoil of crashing waves engulfing their pursuers, we witness the culmination of God's promise, a vivid portrait of deliverance and the unbreakable power of faith. As we reflect on this epic journey, consider the broader themes of faith, freedom, and the enduring covenant. What does it teach us about trust in divine intervention? The Israelites have just escaped slavery, feeling free, yet lost in the desert. Hunger gnaws at their stomachs. They cry out to Moses, complaining, "Did you lead us here to starve?" But wait, in this barren land, God provides a miracle. Every morning, like dew, fine flakes appear on the ground. It's called manna, bread from heaven, enough to satisfy everyone's hunger every day. What a relief! Thirst soon becomes unbearable. The people grumble again, "Why did we leave Egypt? We need water." Moses, feeling the pressure, turns to God. In faith, he strikes a rock and whoosh, streams of fresh water gush out. Miracles keep them going. Yet not all is peaceful. Rebellion brews under the surface. People question Moses, and even his siblings, Aaron and Miriam, challenge his leadership. Trust is crucial, but fear and doubt sow discord. Moses, weary from leading, struggles with the burden. He's human, and in his frailty, he learns to rely more on God. Even leaders need help, so what lessons can we learn from this incredible journey? Trust in God, even when it seems impossible, recognize the human struggle, and remember that leadership is about seeking guidance and support. In the arid desert landscape, amidst swirling winds and crackling thunder, Moses finds himself at the foot of Mount Sinai, standing before a divine presence. Moses cries out to the Lord, "O Almighty, guide me as I ascend to receive your guiding words for our people." On top of Mount Sinai, covered by thick clouds, Moses receives the 10 Commandments, tablets of stone etched by God's own hand, outlining the laws meant to guide and protect. While Moses embraces divine wisdom high above, chaos brews below among the Israelites. As their faithlessness grew, a golden calf is crafted, repurposing the very gold meant for their future temple. Celebrations and worship of this false idol ensue. Moses, shocked at the Israelites, "What have you done? This heinous act of idolatry shall break the covenant we have just forged." In a moment of intense anger and deep sorrow, Moses shatters the tablets, a reflection of the broken promise. Yet he knows forgiveness is possible. Moses says to God, "Lord, forgive them. Guide us back under your grace. Teach us to honor these commandments." Moved by Moses' intercession, God offers mercy and a chance for the Israelite people to renew their commitment. The 10 Commandments are re-inscribed, both physically and spiritually engraved in their hearts. The Israelites, having just been freed from generations of slavery, stand on the precipice of entering the Promised Land. God instructs Moses to send 12 spies, one from each tribe, to scout the land of Canaan. The spies return with a mixed report. Yes, the land is bountiful, overflowing with milk and honey. But the inhabitants are formidable. Some report them as giants. 10 spies sow seeds of doubt and fear among the Israelites, shaking their faith. Caleb and Joshua, the only dissenters, urge confidence in God's promise. "We can surely do it," they plead with the people. But their words are drowned out by the chorus of skepticism and rebellion. The people of Israel, overwhelmed by fear, threaten to stone Moses and Aaron, crying out to return to Egypt rather than face battle. Here, God steps in, frustrated by their continuous lack of faith. In a heart-rending decree, God condemns the entire generation to wander the desert for 40 years, 1 year for each day the spies spent in Canaan. None except Joshua and Caleb will see the promised land. As the dust settles, the enormity of what has happened begins to dawn on the people. The consequences of their rebellion become a poignant testament to the power of faith and obedience, and the stern hand of divine judgment. It's a narrative of change, growth, and the unyielding justice of God. After leading the Israelites through decades of trials and tribulations, Moses stands at the threshold of the promised land, a place he led his people to, but can never call his own. In these final moments, Moses appoints Joshua as his successor, ensuring the continuation of his life's work and the fulfillment of God's covenant. His words resonate with themes of legacy and hope, reminding the Israelites of their resilience and the divine promises that led them here. With a sense of peace and fulfillment, Moses lays his burdens down for the last time. And as he breathes his final breath, the scriptures tell us that it is God himself who lays Moses to rest, honoring a life of unwavering faith. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, and share. See you in the next series as we continue to dig into biblical stories that has shaped our world till this day. Remain blessed.